Jeff with a Fighting Chance Wrestling podcast. Now, I'm introducing our podcast like this because the initial introduction when we first recorded was terrible. With that being said, we're three guys, two of which are Jay and cousin Joey, and we just are giving our take on wrestling. So whatever that's worth. But if we don't give you that, I will tell you there is a lot of weird things that happen on this podcast. So it's just dysfunctional, really. But if we don't give you anything as far as wrestling related, we would definitely give you some comedy relief. So I hope you guys enjoy. Now, I just want to preface this by saying that this episode starts with me asking the guys how excited they are for the podcast. So here's the episode. I hope you guys enjoy.
So guys, excited? Our first episode.
I feel this is the stars finally aligned and we all came together and we're finally able to record. We've been trying to do this for how long now? Months.
Months.
Years.
So guys, I got a question for you guys. I want to tell the fans so they can get acclimated to us. How did you guys get into wrestling? This is a new wrestling podcast that we're doing. Fans want to know what are we going to bring to the table? Like, what is our takes? What are we going to do? Jay?
So I started watching wrestling, I'd say maybe I was 7 or 8 or so because of my older brother. And I don't know, I've just been a fan ever since. I feel like everyone else, we kind of, we go in and out of it, with watching and the interest. But, I've been watching for years now, and I just feel like this podcast is going to be different. We have so many different personalities. We have comedic relief. We have my cousin Joey. We have Cliff, who is very knowledgeable. We have me, who I can at least pretend that I'm knowledgeable about most things.
A little bit more credit there.
Right. Yeah. I also was part of, I don't know if anyone who's listening to this, Square Circle Sirens, which was the women's wrestling website that Casey used to run. I used to be on the podcast and help him with that as well. So that's what I'm trying to do. What about you, cousin Joey? What are you going to bring to the table here? Besides your good looks.
Yes, thank you. More of comedy and Q&A. I kind of got involved in wrestling. I was maybe 10 or 11. And like you said, with your brother, and he tuned us into it. And I remember my first match watching Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior. And I just thought how the difference was with, the Hulk dressing funny and that type of stuff. And it got my eye since. I dropped off a little, but I started to slowly start to watch it again, and it's become more. And one funny fact about me, up until
I'm already laughing.
maybe about 5 or 6 years after I started watching it, I was so convinced up until that point that wrestling was actually serious, actually real. They would really beat each other up.
Cliff's face, it's just priceless right now.
No, to be honest, to be fair, I felt that way, but I was 5.
See?
Man.
No, I was young. Is that, you have more to add to that, or are you passing it over to me now?
Yeah, pass it over. Keep it simple.
All right, sounds good. Well, I got into wrestling. It's probably one of my only fond memories of my father. I mean, I don't even know if you guys know this, but me and my dad don't get along, and we never have. Well, I shouldn't say never, because I guess there was that one point where he's the one that introduced me to wrestling. I was 3 years old, just watching wrestling with him. He didn't care if wrestling had a negative impact on my mental health. He would just watch it anyway, right?
Listen, nothing wrong with those bra and panty matches.
Well, that was the time where, Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was my guy, I always loved how he came around the ring and then with the ropes and everything and just squashed his jobber, in just 3 seconds and then ran off.
That's it.
But it's kind of sad later on realizing that, holy shit, that guy is gassed already. Just That's why his matches were three seconds long, because that guy was huffing and puffing already.
Just coming down the ring. Yeah.
Before
God bless his soul. I mean, God bless him.
before the bell actually rang. So, yeah, those are just some nice fond memories, and I've been a wrestling fan ever since. I actually wanted to be a wrestler after high school. Try to sign up for wrestling schools. Actually, the New York Wrestling Connection out
in really?
Park. I tried to. Yeah, I went there to observe. And not gonna lie, I was a little bit of a pussy, and and I didn't follow through all the way.
I'm sorry, Vince McMahon never took notice to you.
Yeah, well, neither did Mikey Whipwreck. So,
Clip, there's still time. With this podcast, you have a fighting chance.
A fighting chance. Now that I'm 35 and my body feels like that of an 80-year-old. But yeah, sure. But yeah, so I bring a lot of knowledge to the table. Just a huge fan. I did fall off kind of like Joey did for a bit there, probably around the 2011 to like 2000, maybe 15 of sorts. But that's when the product was kind of starting to, was stale. Competition is always good, but there was none. So WWE kind of just did all, whatever they wanted to do. Slowly got back into it again. And here we are. Yeah, so yeah. So
yeah, I hope there's people that can.
Yeah, I mean, but with that being said, there's a lot of shit going on in the wrestling world, ain't there?
There is.
Yeah, I think a lot of shit. And but before I want to get into the the storylines and everything, we got some real backstage shit going on, like Vince McMahon and his affair. So what do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Jay. I love his confidence. I love that he is coming out on SmackDown and Raw and just saying the dumbest shit and just walking off. He doesn't care. I love it. He paid, what was it, $3 million, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just love his personality. That's my take on it. I just love it. Everyone thought, maybe not everyone thought that he was going to come out and he was going to air his dirty laundry. It's Vince McMahon. He's not going to come out and be like, yeah, I had an affair. That's not Vince McMahon.
No.
When you have that.
No.
Yeah.
You have that type of money, you don't care.
Yeah.
And it's funny, not to cause major conflict, hopefully this gets aired, but let me tell you something. Miss McMahon had an affair. You don't think Linda was going about her own business too? Food for thought, hot topic. Who knows who's bouncing around in every other type of wrestling? Who knows? Maybe Stephanie and Triple H. You never know.
I am. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Well, I think I heard that they weren't living together. Am I correct?
Well, I heard and I think I remember watching or listening to a podcast with Mike Chioda on there. Him saying that the family was pretty much kind of in shambles in a certain sense. Like, it's kind of like a discombobulated, situation.
Almost like our family, Jay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's America's family, right? Yeah,
that's not wrong. Yeah.
Funny.
Was it over 50% end in divorce? So I'm not surprised. Especially when you have that kind of money, that kind of power. And it's the billionaire way of living, I guess. But no, in all seriousness, yeah. So I think that this is kind of like, now is going to bring into light like what kind of relationship everyone has in that family. Like, to be honest with you, like, look at Shane's situation, right? Like, Shane is kind of come and gone. And like when he left the first time, he left for what, 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
10 years. So it's you know that there's some type of heat between, at least Shane and Vince, and probably now more than ever, now that everything's out to light. And who knows, maybe that's the reason why Stephanie McMahon took a leave of absence. Maybe she got caught wind of it.
That's what I kept thinking. It's too much of a coincidence. A few weeks before she not steps down, but she said she's going to walk away for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, this comes out.
Yeah.
I seen I get a lot of updates on my Facebook. You subscribe to something, and all of a sudden you get blasted with all these types of videos and stuff. And there was one thing that stood out to me right before this whole saga came out with Vince, was people who were most likely to take this over after he retires or possibly passes away. And right away, there was a bunch of like analysts about it, and everybody had said the same thing, that Stephanie would take the main thing. More Shane was kind of out of it. I mean, I don't know, but I think guys know more knowledge than I do. Shane is older than Stephanie. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think he's the older brother.
I believe so, yeah.
But I think more of, like you had said, Cliff, that the middle child, even though there's only 2 kids, well, so far we know of, that he's more of she's more of a stable person. Plus, she's married. I think she's got she's more down to earth type of thing, even though she's a drama queen, but rightfully so. But the one thing I got to say about Vince McMahon, even though he's got billions of dollars and he doesn't just quite care, which you can, even though his dad bought it out and he rightfully so took it over, I got to say though, he's a made man. And he figured it out down to pennies and dollars and nitty gritty. He knew how to get the people's attention. He knew
all the time.
He knew that soap operas, and even if he didn't do the planning, he outright executed it. And I think it's great. Hands off to him. He's a excuse my French, you can edit it out. He's an asshole, but he knew how to get the crowd going.
Yeah. 100%. Cliff, do you think this would have been the one thing that would have taken Vince McMahon out? I don't even know I don't even think anything would.
I don't know, man. I mean, the guy
surgery.
The guy beat the feds when it came down to this. This is not the feds. This is just board of directors for a company that, he stepped down as CEO and he's going to take his billions and run with it. I'm like,
yeah.
Like he's not stepping down. Handed over to Stephanie, and that I thought was always the plan anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, now it's a little tougher now because before, when he beat the feds, it was a private company. But now it's a publicly traded company. So now he has to make stockholders happy, and when things come out like that, unfortunately, in the days that we live in, if you guys know anything about stocks, I don't know if you guys are into stocks or anything like that, but stocks are affected even by emotion, right? So when bad things happen with companies, like let's say, Pfizer's vaccine killed 1 million people, well, not saying that it did. I'm not saying that, but I'm just using that as an example.
Going down that route.
Prices are going to go down, and there's a lot of reparations to be paid, right? So
yes,
something like this is stockholders are looking like, oh, he's involved in a scandal. How what's the word? How stable is his leadership with the company and stuff like that. So, holders get worried when things like this happen because it will devalue the stock a little bit and then everyone loses money. So,
I said it, as you said that, made me think of a point, and it made me sound a little stupid, but I'm sure somebody will be thinking the same thing. Maybe he's actually happy that he got caught. It's almost as if, hey, listen, I'm done my part. I made my billions. I'm leaving it over. And excuse me, this was a no-hold-bar podcast. I'm pulling my pants down. So I'm done.
And it gives him more publicity.
Maybe, but at the same time, if you listen or watch anybody talk about Vince McMahon, the guy is always likes to be hands-on, and he's a control freak. So, and to a certain extent, he lost control with this one.
It's the typical thing, you know. You make one, you make two, you make four, and you think you're untouchable. But the one thing that this I threw this in here because I'll be the oddball in every situation. Even though you have to, because when you retire, somebody helps you accomplish what you want. But the one thing that the Undertaker seen, I seen parts of his retirement thing, was he said that if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, he wouldn't be the person who he was today, and also Triple H. And I find that funny because Triple H is, I don't know. I mean, I guess it worked out for him that, you know, he has a heart problem and he can retire now, so he's running part of the whole business. But the one thing is, I don't care what anybody says, I'll say it, even though, you know, I thought otherwise. I think other than Hulk Hogan, he could possibly make top 3, definitely top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time. And that maybe, hopefully, between the 3 of us, that'll be a great topic also.
Episode.
You know, funny enough, someone said, I was reading a comment that Vince should come out like every Monday Night Raw, start it off and just say something stupid like, tonight all T-shirts 30% off, and then just walk off. I said that would be great. Every Monday night, just have him come out and say something, and then just walk off for a few weeks.
I got, you know what I noticed now that you're drinking some? What the hell kind of bottle is that?
Oh, well, this is the official Jay and Joey YouTube bottle.
You got merch now?
Yeah.
Man, you're moving up the world. Cheap
Did you have to pay
that? Product placement, come on.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, Jay and his fiance.
Yep.
Fiance, Joey. And no, it's not cousin Joey. Let's just make that clear. It's not.
Yeah, let's make that very clear. What's going on here?
Make it clear.
It's not one of those podcasts. Yeah.
have a YouTube channel as well, so you guys should check it out. Yo, Jay, can you plug that in?
Sure. www.youtube.com/JayJoey. JayJoey.
Listen, I watched a couple of episodes. It's pretty good. And not to throw a low ball at you, Cliff, but me and Jay, we don't live in the South, okay?
Well,
we don't.
I'm in. We don't like this.
We don't live with cousins.
We're going off topic.
Sorry.
You're trying to play the heel now. You're gonna get Alabamians all pissed.
Oh man. We're going to piss everybody off. That's good, though. People will at least comment.
Great. Now we'll have the hillbillies listening to us.
The hillbilly? All right. So, what's next? Mm-hmm. Well, we got a lot of content here. There's a lot of news. To be honest with you, lately, it's been kind of hard. I got a kid. I know Joey, cousin Joey has a kid. And it's hard to catch up with a lot of the current events, but there are some things that I didn't even notice when I was watching or catching up on, the Raw and SmackDown. I didn't realize that Lacey Evans is back. That was one that caught my eye. I think
it was a few weeks ago, if I remember, she came back.
I saw the vignette that she was coming back, or the promo that she did, where she was talking about her military background. Yeah. I feel like they've done that before.
Right?
They have. They did it with Bobby Lashley, and I hate those promos because it's so it's almost exploiting. I didn't realize she was back, and I was always a fan of hers. I was looking at, and we can actually, segue into Raw and SmackDown now that we got some of the news out of the way, and we were talking because the biggest news really is Vince McMahon. With handle. Stephanie being interim. That actually, you know what? Let's not go into Raw and SmackDown because we didn't touch on this point yet. The with Stephanie and Triple H coming back, right? Because I saw it on my Instagram feeds and everything. Triple H's picture. I'm back. What does it mean? Does it mean he's going to go back to NXT and go with his child again, or is he going to be in the main roster helping around in the backstage? I know he probably is still limited on what he can do as far as how much stress he can handle. You know, we know that unlike AEW, and yes, I'm throwing shade at AEW. WWE is a little bit more of a well-oiled machine, and they have their processes, and a lot more goes into it, I feel like, than AEW.
Yeah.
Just in the production. And you can tell, too. The production of WWE shows are so much highly produced than AEW just looks like WCW 2.0. And I know people are going to hate that.
That's great, though. Comment below if you agree or don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to agree with me, and I know there's people that, you know, AEW fanboys. But lately, I've been trying to you know, catch up with the product of AEW and whatnot. I got to tell you, it seems pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't watched, really. I thought the last time I watched was when CM Punk came back. That was it.
I don't know if the Forbidden Door that they keep saying is
which is tonight, I believe, right?
That is a pay-per-view event. Okay.
Yeah.
They keep bringing in all these New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers. Every show, there's a new one coming out. There's no story. I don't know who they are. You know, it's like I remember when what was the guy's name? Is it Jay White? You know, the guy, the hottest New Japan Pro Wrestling guy, like coming in and over. It's like, who are these people? How am I supposed to get excited?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a hardcore. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore. I don't watch New Japan. I don't watch AEW that much, right? You know, I would think that we're all here probably more WWE guys than anything. You know.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Joey?
No, I think that it's true about, you know, like I said, who are these people, and maybe that these type of you know, these federations, or I don't want to use federations, I may get sued, but entertainments, maybe that they're small owned by Triple H or you know, Stephanie or whoever else has their hand in it. The one off topic that, because I'll forget things, the one topic that I would definitely bring up, also food for thought, I don't know how long we'll keep our sessions, is I had seen a thing once where I seen it and then I heard it from somebody. It just so happened I was actually in a supermarket and somebody was talking to somebody else about it. And it makes me wonder if it looks like it and it smells like it, possibly is. See me, I just hold no spark. That The Rock is having his hand in the situation of financial wise. Possibly The Rock buying something or owning part of it. I know he owns something. I forget what it is. I lost it in my notes. But I mean, let's face it, The Rock really mastered entertainment. He knew that he was making more money acting than anything. And I think that I think it's possible that he made Vince McMahon, you know, stop working or whatever it is, and he actually buy some of it, most of it, so that, you know, he could financially back it up, which makes another reason. Are they really not worth liquid money, 2.1 billion? Maybe The Rock is. Maybe he's going to give them some financial backing. Maybe possibly with this stuff with a fair, if that's possible, and people are coming out saying left and right, $3 million here, $5 million here, that they're suing Vince McMahon. Where's he going to get the money from? I'm sure that, you know, Shane and Stephanie and Triple H and we're sure Linda have their own bank accounts, but who's backing him up after if he's decides that, or he figures out that he can't make it.
Well, I think that if anything, if The Rock played any role in the WWE, I think he would probably be like a shareholder, hold some shares of the company. Because again, the company is a publicly traded company, which means that shareholders will invest in the company and then they own part of the company. I think the best that they could do is so Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H and whoever else part of the family owns a percentage of shares. If they wanted to sell their shares and sell it to The Rock, then The Rock could have like a minority stake in the company, right? Kind of like how the Mets were. I'm going to use baseball as an example because, so back then Steve Cohen was a minority owner to the Will Ponzi's. And I say Ponzi's because they were involved with Bernie Madoff and his Ponzi scheme. So, with that being said, he was a minority stake owner. Then they sold him the rest of their share, and then he became full owner of the Mets, and that happened recently. So kind of the same situation. If Vince McMahon didn't want to do it anymore, and he felt like, well, I can't trust Stephanie, I can't trust Triple H, definitely can't trust Shane because Shane is, is a bastard to me. I don't know what their relationship is. It seems like it's estranged somehow. So
yeah.
So with that being said, he can go, hey, Rock, buddy, want to buy my stocks? Want to buy my share? And then he would give, and I would assume that maybe Vince has a majority share and then sell it to The Rock. And I think that's how he would probably get into it. Now, I think what you were thinking is Rock did buy the XFL from The Rock. I mean, from Vince. So, so The Rock is actually currently and this is why I don't think he has much to do with wrestling because he's a busy man. He's making movies, as we know, probably producing, directing as well, because I think he's done some of that. But at the same time, he's working on the XFL again and trying to make that as a legitimate product, as a competition product to the NFL. I think Vince McMahon actually did a good job the second time. Unfortunately, COVID hit and ruined it.
But look at all that broadcasted in when they were on the ring. It showed the screen in the back. Look how many. I mean, I can say it because we're doing this now. But look how many dysfunctionals actually paid to watch that stuff and show it on the big screen.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, when they had the COVID thing, they would only have the wrestlers in the ring. They wouldn't have people in the seats, and then they showed in the background that it would all those people that were watching. They showed the faces.
Oh, like the screen. Yeah, I tried to sign up for that a few times.
Yeah. Well, it was COVID. Everyone took their precautions, and me actually, Jay and I got screwed out of WrestleMania because of that. That was terrible.
We were supposed to start a tradition every WrestleMania. After one, we got ruined.
yeah, right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, we were supposed to go.
Jay made up tradition.
I did end up going though. I went to the one in Tampa. Remember, even with the COVID half going on, whatever was going on, we had all wear the mask, and then we had the.
Was that the second time they played it? Because that was the first year that they were in Tampa because they played Tampa twice, right? They went to Tampa. But they had it moved from Tampa to somewhere else. Was it they moved it to the
where was it?
To the NXT arena, whatever that is, the Performance Center.
Yes, yeah. And then I said the following year when they actually had the WrestleMania people, that's the one I went to at.
They went to Tampa.
James, yeah.
Right.
Maybe they just canceled it and used Vince's holidays. What happens?
Go. You're losing your service here.
Hey, listen. I got kids to entertain, you know?
I got kids.
We got fans to entertain, my friend.
It might be time for his breakfast.
Oh, his
Hey.
breakfast. Yeah, so that's what I actually wanted to say before while you were drinking, that cousin Joey doesn't have his royal breakfast. His
Coffee.
signature royal breakfast. This guy gets a huge breakfast handed to him on a silver platter, and it's not even cooked by himself. It's cooked by his wife.
And the kids.
It takes time. I don't know how long you're married. Jay will get there. You know what I'm saying?
Every Sunday morning at 8:15, he has his breakfast.
This guy has it made.
Sleeping at 8:15.
Has it made.
Oh man, we're all over the place, but I love it.
I asked my wife, make me breakfast. She's like, you got legs and arms.
See? How long you married?
How long?
Yeah.
Shit, you're putting me on the spot?
Sarah, listening.
Yeah, it's 2017 that I got married. So how long is that? 5 years?
Well, I hope we don't broadcast it. You let her listen to it, because then you're going to be in trouble.
Well, no, I remembered.
Truly,
I got
I think like 2010, I think it was, or something.
I didn't even know Sarah in 2010.
I got 10 years on you, Cliff.
10 years?
Yeah.
Shit, when did you get married? When you were 2?
Oh, man.
2011.
2011?
Yeah.
How old are you? I don't even know your age.
Who are you?
Where did you come from? No?
Yeah. What happened to my real cousin? Oh man.
So should we tell them the audience about also, because I think we got off track, about how long these podcasts will be? Half hour, 45 minutes?
That'll be, we'll talk about more. Well, you know what it is that, with these things, we just kind of have to play it by ear for the most part, like you got to get through the show, and
we'll get a system down after editing. We'll like I said, after a few episodes, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure out the let's.
We're gonna have a professional studio by the 5th episode. Trust me.
Yeah, I hope so.
Jay, by then the 5th one, we'll have so many people you can redo the ceiling.
This is a beautiful ceiling done by my landlord.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that ceiling. It's actually really cool looking.
It matches.
Looks like you're trying to kind of live in the forest, but kind of not. Because if you look, it looks like a cabin in the woods, and then when you look at everything else, it's just contemporary. So it's kind of like a contradiction.
Listen, I pay rent. I don't live here.
Hey, as long as it works, man. As long as it works.
It works.
Hey, there you go.
So all right.
No water. No water's leaking. I have a funny story to tell you. It has nothing to do with wrestling, but I just thought this was funny. Because we're talking about roofs, and I remember when we first moved to Florida here. Our cousin Joey just froze. He don't
want to listen. All right.
What a face. There it is.
Hey.
Well, funny story is we're talking about roofs here. So when we first moved to Florida here, if you guys, I didn't mention to the fans, but I'm originally from New York. My boys here are from New York too, from Long Island. And I moved down to Florida. That's why we do this remotely. And I had worked one job, my first job here, and I got laid off. So to make me feel better, my in-laws and my wife decided, hey, you know what? Let's go out to dinner. And obviously this is pre-COVID. And we go out to dinner, and they ask me, where's the place that you want to go? And I'm like, well, I'd really like to go and get some Latin food. Florida, there's a lot of Latins that live, Americans that live here. And the food is fantastic, right? You would think. And
Oh.
So we go to a restaurant. I sit down, and again, I just said I got let go from my job, and I was kind of depressed and whatnot, getting acclimated to the new Florida environment, which is still getting used to, and then on top of that, losing my job, and you're down in the dumps. So we
Free
went to this
alligator.
place. We went to this place called The Knife. It's Argentinian buffet style food, right? So I went up. I got my food, right? Spanish rice with some nice charcoal grilled steaks, and I picked everything, full plate. Sit down on the bed. I mean, on the table. Fuck, if they had a bed, that would be amazing.
I was just saying, but nice.
In bed, right? No.
What's the address?
So we were sitting down, and then all of a sudden, the stream of water from the ceiling come pouring down into my plate and splashing all over me. I was so depressed that I literally had my own rain cloud above me, and it was pouring on me. And I'm like, yep, this pretty much sums up my day.
Yeah, that was
All that work standing at the buffet for nothing.
yeah.
Dude, and you had to wait there for a little bit just to get your little piece of steak and whatnot, because it was a packed crowd. So yeah, that place got theirs though. They ended up closing for good. So
I would hope.
yeah. Well, back to wrestling. We got a little sidetracked there, but I thought that was a funny story because we were talking about Jay's odd
cabin. I live in the woods.
You live in the woods of Long Island. Where's that?
You'll never know, everybody.
You never know. Out east, right? It's like the Montauk Project.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I got a few experiments in this house, trust me.
I'm admiring Cousin Joey right now and what he's doing.
I'm trying to figure out how to.
You're trying to figure out.
I'm trying to figure out how to get you back on the screen, Cliff, and textures.
So all these products you see are for sale. We got the fan.
Whatever box that is.
Yeah. If you want merch, right there.
Is that
right from Cousin Joey's house?
Is that an Xbox right there?
No, that's sitting behind a window with broken glass that I tried to fix. I put the AC in the window, and I cracked the glass from drilling onto the frame of the window. So my wife was nice enough to close it.
Walking around.
No, don't worry. Definitely get a better screen in the background. It'll be better than the wooden ceiling.
This is fun here. This is content.
This is content. I don't know what kind, but this is definitely content.
Well, anyway, Joey's trying to figure his life out right now, and
we'll get back to wrestling, and once you're ready, Cousin Joey, come back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we haven't even touched on what's going on in storylines, WWE, wrestling. What is your take? Before we start, I have to preface this because I'm a little annoyed with the WWE product, especially with the women's wrestling. They need to stop having these women come out and trying to recite their lines because they sound like robots.
Yeah.
And they sound not threatening whatsoever. Every time they talk, like there's a few of them that I know that I feel like WWE gives them the trust, right? That to say whatever. So I think Becky's one of them, right?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I'm just like, I'm sorry, Clint, but it's like,
what is happening right now? I think
I'm moving around.
In a few years, if we're still doing this, we're gonna look back at this one and just be like, damn.
Well, I can't
Hold
help
on, I'll be
this
right
out.
back.
Oh man. Okay, continue. Yeah, Becky. I agree. Becky Lynch. Who
So I
else
think
would you give
one
it
of
to?
them is Becky Lynch. I feel like maybe Alexa is one of them because I think she can cut a promo.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and I'm trying to think of the ones that just don't sound good.
Ronda Rousey. I'm a fan of hers. I don't believe her promos at all. They sound horrible to me.
I know you're a fan of her, and you're not going to agree with me, but I can't stand her. She's cringe. I shouldn't say I can't stand her. She just should not be in WWE. She should just go back to MMA, get kicked in the face by Holly Holm again, and
Going to sunset.
yeah, exactly. I know you like her, and I'm sorry that you like her. But
Well, at least listen, I'm giving the negative. Her promos are horrible. Horrible.
they're absolutely horrendous. When when she needs to be a baby face, she still comes off as a heel,
Yeah.
or like she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that to me, it's like, all right, well, now you're just telling me that you're there for the paycheck and you really don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
Like, Brock used to do that, right? Like, he wouldn't give a shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But Brock has this aura around him, right? And he's back again, as we know. He's back again. Which we'll touch on that a little later.
Mm.
But Brock now also is having fun. And when he comes out now, this cowboy version of Brock is amazing.
I love it. I love it.
I love it because he's showing that he's having fun. He's showing more affection to the fans.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool, like, refreshing, thing that he's doing with himself. He's reinventing himself, is what he's doing.
And he's still badass though, which I like too.
Yeah, like, like, he's having fun. He's a baby face, and he has this, like, uplifting aura about him. But he can kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm
he
back.
has that vibe. So yeah, I wanted to touch that on the women's matches. They used to be so good when they were doing the whole women's revolution thing or evolution or whatever. It was getting so good, and then it got stale. I don't know what did it. I don't know if maybe it was overexposure of the four horsewomen, having Bailey, Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte, just continuously seeing them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, we saw those four more than we did Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss didn't wrestle for a while.
Yeah.
But before that, when Alexa Bliss started coming in, and I'm a huge Alexa Bliss fan, right? She I thought was like the whole package, right?
Yeah.
She was fierce. She has the looks, and she can cut a promo. She had everything.
Yeah.
But now they're just giving, like, all these women, like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, even Lacey Evans, like, her promos are pretty shit too, right? And like,
yeah, I feel like they all are. I mean, they're turning back into, and like I said, if anyone disagrees, they're turning back into the matches where you go to use the bathroom. And that's what I hate to say, because they have amazing talent, but it's just, like you said, it's so stale now, where
yeah,
it used to be like they were the main events for so many, for WrestleMania and stuff. They were the main events, and now it's like, oh, it's okay. I'm not into the whole Ronda Rousey versus Natalia thing. I haven't been paying attention. It's not exciting.
I saw this. I breezed through the segment because
when she dressed up as Ronda, yeah.
Yeah, I breezed through that segment because I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was stupid. And it's like, why? First of all, in my mind, because, like, again, you're trying to sell this to the fans. So in my mind, it's like, I'm not buying that Natalia wants to be Ronda Rousey in the professional wrestling world. Like Natalia's resume, she comes from royal background.
Exactly.
Like, why does she want to be Natalia? She's royalty in that ring.
Exactly.
Like, it's so demeaning to Natalia. And I know Natalia and Ronda are probably friends in real life because they had that whole, like, they trained together in the beginning when Ronda.
Yeah.
But, like, if I'm Bret Hart watching this, or, even her dad watching this, in heaven or whatever, right? If you believe in heaven, right? Like, it would make my skin crawl. It would piss me off. It's like, that's my, Bret Hart, that's my niece. She's not being treated like royalty. Like, she should be treated like royalty. And I don't know if people, how people feel about Natalia. Some people, either hate her or love her. I tend to like her a lot. I think she's the last of the technical style in that ring, especially for women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, there could be technical wrestlers, but and I think I touched this when we spoke last week. Just the two of us. That we lost cousin Joey.
You're right, cuz.
Yeah, I know I made bread and chocolate, but I'm back.
No, well, if you came back in the form of a dresser, then
Came back in the form of dresser. Oh man.
So
we're gonna appreciate this first one in a few years.
So everyone, this is cousin Joe's as a dresser. Maybe we can call him cousin dresser. What's up?
Oh wait, the screen flip.
Dude, it's been flipped the whole time. Probably like the last 10 minutes.
Yo, this.
Oh man.
Oh, this is great. And
what happened?
It's funny. I don't know, because it's funny because my son is sitting here and he's going, "Dad, you're facing the screen. You're facing the dresser. You're facing the dresser."
Oh boy.
Oh boy, this is right.
This is
Joey, just chime in whenever you.
Whenever it's convenient for you.
Yeah. How does
this?
Cliff's gonna be very busy editing.
Oh, this is staying in. This is staying in. There's no way. We had a whole discussion.
Staring at the dresser.
I came
Turn
back.
the camera around, cuz we want to see your beautiful face. We're losing people here.
Yeah, but I want to.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Yo, double tap your screen.
I did.
Oh.
Is there like a
Hey, all right. Oh.
He needs a computer, man.
No. I'm too poor for a computer.
Too poor for a computer?
We're gonna get you.
Now I'm in airplane mode.
Or maybe I have a used computer that I can lend you.
Cliff, anything. Anything you got, send quickly.
Thanks to Joe, we just lost about 800,000 viewers.
Or we made 800,000 viewers.
People might watch this, be like, "Oh shit, this is some good stuff." This is about wrestling.
One thing. Even though I had a be excused for a couple of minutes, one thing that I want to touch upon with before we end the podcast is about the Bret Hart thing. What are you laughing at?
I just love this.
The one thing that I want to touch upon, and Cliff made a good point, is about how treating the Bret Hart situation. It's kind of ironic. Look what Vince McMahon did to Bret Hart.
Yeah, but there's such a love-hate relationship with those two. I don't think Bret Hart forgave him, but I don't think he'll ever forget it, right?
Of course not.
With the whole Montreal screw job. But at the same time, he did hire a lot of a lot of Hart's family, even after the fact. So, we had, Bulldog's son was hired a couple of times. There was, Tyson Kidd was hired, who's, Natalia's husband, and was a longtime family friend of the Harts. You had, Natalia. So, there's a list there, even after the fact, and they hired these wrestlers. And Natalia is still there for many years, and she's getting paid good money. But, what's good money? We don't really know what she's getting paid. I don't know her contract. But she's been there for a very long time, and she's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
without a doubt in my mind. But I think that she should be doing a little bit more than putting over Ronda Rousey.
yeah.
Like, if you're gonna put anyone over, put someone over that deserves it.
Well, maybe that's her role for now. She's just going to keep it low and then have a break.
Well, that's going to be. I think that's. Well, now that Vince is gone, who knows? I don't know how much say Vince is going to actually have now that he stepped down.
Oh,
now that Stephanie is in there and Triple H is back, I wonder how it's going to go.
But does Ronda really need to be put over? I mean, I'd rather you do it to someone in NXT or someone who hasn't had a shot yet. Ronda doesn't need to be put over.
She doesn't. She
has her name.
She has her name. Everyone knows who she is.
Yeah, she don't need to be put over. Oh, the cat's coming. More comedy.
How do you guys feel?
We're talking about Ronda Rousey. That was actually kind of a pop question that I wanted to bring to the table eventually. But thank you, Cliff and Jay, for blowing that up at me. There's going to be special guests of who appeared on, on Raw or wrestling in general.
Wait, what? What are we talking about? Cause I love you. I don't know what the question was.
Wait, hold on. So, here's my question. Ready? I'm sorry.
I have a lot after this podcast.
A lot of questions. I'm not even going to address those.
We'll talk about it after we turn the camera off. Yeah.
What's it called? So my question is for you guys, because this kind of bothers me. What's your guys' take on Ronda Rousey using almost the Rowdy Piper name, and kind of carrying it? Like, does it bother you? Does it do anything for you?
I really don't know the backstory behind it. Was it really given to her? I don't really know.
I think so. I think it was. The only thing is that Roddy Piper was Roddy Piper, right? No one can replicate that. His intensity, his promos, he was a psychopath when he was, when he did his promos.
Yeah.
The most memorable, one of the most memorable, and actually goes into one of our segments, was the coconut to the head with Jimmy Snuka. Was one of the most memorable things for me when I was a child, right?
I thought that was great.
So, like, Roddy Piper, and then Ronda Rousey, who's not a pro wrestler. She's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Right? Not a pro wrestler. Using the Piper name almost. She Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah.
I don't find her promos are not up to Piper's.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
And just even her persona is not even close to Piper.
No. So that that goes to show you, maybe when she moved over, obviously she realized she was going to make more money, not MMA fighting, than she was acting in wrestling. But that just goes to show you that whoever gives the names to these these wrestlers, or they do it themselves or stuff like that, that's a hot topic that I think we'll touch on, is how bad of a wrestler, or how bad does it make her that she has to take somebody else's name and replace it. Andre the Giant, yes, you can give the exception to, I feel, of Andre the Giant and the Big Show. When he first started, he started as Giant. I mean, they're both massive wrestlers, but I believe that this is the exception. Hey, listen, you guys could agree to disagree, but if you guys understand my sort of view.
Well, you can make the argument that, and it's probably more because of longevity, is that the Big Show was a better Giant than Andre the Giant.
I think so.
But that'll be for another topic. I don't want to get into that. But let's get back to it. So, yeah, that was just one of the things that bothered me as far as, well, Cousin Joey just left the building.
Guest user. Yeah. He was a guest.
Oh, you were a guest. Oh, okay, good. It's probably been like that the whole time. And we lost him. And we lost him.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm trying to entertain children.
I don't know how that sounds.
Oh my god.
Entertain children here.
What happened here? Hold on a second.
Oh.
I shared my screen.
Oh.
That happened.
This is great. I love it. Gangsta. What? What's happening? Cliff, what's happening?
Joey shared his secret.
Is I asked you for breaded chocolate?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're having technical issues. I think it's more or less.
This is. I love this. I think maybe we hit another topic or two, and then maybe that's it.
So you shared.
I think that's it. I think I lost technological difficulties.
Joe, you shared your screen.
I'm coughing. Oh,
no one wants to see the pornography on your screen.
He's feeding kids chocolate and bread while entertaining them.
This is too much, man.
Well, maybe this will be a drama, a wrestling podcast. Who are you looking at, me or the bottle of water?
This is funny.
Cliff's face right now is priceless. All our dreams.
Well, maybe I can edit this out.
Do you think if we
can you see me?
Cuz we haven't been able to see you in like an hour, cuz.
Can you see me now?
No, you're sharing your screen.
What about now?
Is there a button on your phone that says share screen? You want to turn that off?
Mad gangster. Share screen. Share.
Stop sharing. Click on that. Stop sharing. There you go. Yay! He did it. He did it.
In the words of Stone Cold.
That wasn't a word. That was just a hand gesture.
What?
So we're gonna be much better prepared for next week. What the hell's that?
I don't know. Oh God!
been broadcasting already. An hour and a half. Jesus Lord.
And we've talked about wrestling for about 15 minutes of it.
All right, so let me pull up here the matches.
For Raw, you talking about?
Yeah, from Raw, because I believe the first match was the Fatal 5-Way.
Do you think we could just jump into Money in the Bank? I feel like the Raw, SmackDown, we're never gonna. We're losing cousin Joey already.
Is this podcast going to end? Because I'm tired of turning phones around.
His lunch is ready.
His grand lunch. He just had his breakfast. He needs his lunch.
His lunch is ready. That's great.
What's it called? All right, so yeah, we can go to the Money in the Bank and skip Raw, because Money in the Bank pretty much gives you everything you need to know.
So let's run down the matches and see who we think. How about that?
Let's do that. All right.
Okay, so we have Theory versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh,
Bobby Lashley.
That one.
I was gonna say Bobby Lashley just because if he has a program which he's supposed to have with John Cena at SummerSlam, that makes sense.
That would be actually a very interesting match.
But
Be a good topic.
I guess yeah. If you wanna, I would probably just put over Theory. Obviously, I wouldn't have John Cena win the U.S. title at that point.
Well, then
I want to keep it on Theory.
One of the things that bothers me about wrestling is that like Bobby Lashley doesn't need to be put over.
No,
he doesn't.
Austin Theory, and if you look at Austin Theory, and if you look at his, like even his body shape, right?
Yeah,
he's like a mini fucking John Cena.
Yeah, and that's what they're pushing him as.
Yeah, so which is I think it's funny because Vince McMahon called John Cena the greatest of all time, which he might be one of the greats, but definitely not the greatest of all time.
No way.
No. I mean, put Shawn Michaels up there, put Ric Flair up there. You know, I'll never put Hulk Hogan up there because I don't really love Hulk Hogan, to be honest. I mean, did Hulk Hogan transcend the business? Yeah, he did.
He's the Michael Jackson of wrestling.
Why did we just see him out talking? Okay, so next, Usos versus Street Profits.
That's a match that I don't give a shit about.
All right, next. Me neither. Ronda Rousey versus Natalya.
Another one I don't give a shit about.
I think Ronda's gonna keep it. Bianca versus Carmella.
Which one was that?
Bianca versus Carmella.
For the championship?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the Fatal 5-Way was for. Was for number one contender. So yeah,
Bianca.
That one. Come on, Bianca's gonna win that one. That's
what I'm saying, hands down.
Yeah, it's just feeding her like opponents just because they want her on the show. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
So, women's Money in the Bank. We have Alexa Bliss versus Asuka versus Lacey Evans versus Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Shotzi versus To Be Decided.
You know, this is going to be a really hard one for me. Because there are 3 women there that I absolutely adore. I'm probably going to have to edit that out. I was listening.
Gotta pick one.
So there's 3 women there that I really, really like. Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Lacey Evans. If I'm going to have to pick anyone, it's probably have to be Alexa Bliss. Just because she hasn't had an opportunity in a long, long time. And I think she's overdue.
I would like to see Liv Morgan.
That's another one I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Like if Alexa didn't win and Liv Morgan won, because she's more of like, you know, she never got a shot.
Yeah.
And she's been there for a while, never got a shot. But she's weird because she's like hasn't been there in a while. I mean, she's been there for a while, but she's like a fresh face still.
Yeah.
Right? She gives you that like fresh, refreshing vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, give her a shot. She deserves. She's over with the fans.
Yeah.
People like her, right? Give her a shot. And
Then
then
the last, yeah,
and I'm not sure who the to be determined is. Who do you think that will be?
who knows? Who knows at this point? Well, that's the funny part for the men's one. It's Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Amos, Sami Zayn, and then two to be decided.
Somehow I feel like one of the to be determines may be Matt Riddle still. I feel like he may finagle
Yeah.
into it. I
Who
know
else would you put in at this point? I don't even know.
I know he lost his match with
Reigns.
no, he lost his match with Almost. That's why they got that. That's why Almost went in.
He really lost. I didn't. He really lost. Oh, wow.
That surprised me, but it didn't because I get why they did it is because they want to beat that guy
Yeah.
and to be beaten by Riddle, who's twice, he's so small, like almost
Yeah.
size, maybe even 3 times the size of him. I get it, but at the same time, feed them someone else, man, not Riddle.
Yeah.
Like Riddle just had an amazing match with Roman. Did you watch the match?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the match.
I watched that match.
I liked it.
I liked it a lot, and I thought it showed. And I guess they're probably going to take it a step back with Riddle, and maybe have him go for the Intercontinental Champion at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they always do, right? For the most part, at least that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
Is they would put the Intercontinental Champion on a person, have them go along with them, and then when they're ready to be champion, push them main event status. So I think that's probably what they should do because Matt Riddle, I think, is almost there, but I don't think he's quite there. But it showed with Roman Reigns that he can put a close to a 5-star match, and hold his own and be entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very huge Matt Riddle fan.
Yeah.
And I think he does bring almost a Shawn Michaels vibe to him, with in-ring performance and intensity and just doing the right things. Like he does things right in the ring.
Yeah.
He's a natural. And you don't see many of that these days, know? But yeah, so as far as the Money in the Bank,
I think we totally lost Cousin Joey.
Oh yeah, no, he's done. he's completely done.
Yeah, if you see the latest text message.
I'm done.
Oh, you're not done.
A fighting chance.
Oh, I'm back. Yeah, so as far as that Money in the Bank, it's hard to tell or hard to say because we don't know who the other two are.
Yeah.
We'll find out, obviously we'll find out tomorrow and Friday. Knowing them, they'll hold it until the last minute to find out who's
of course, yeah.
The other two. But who's in it again?
It was hold on. Where are you, Cliff? There you go. It is Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Amos, and Sami Zayn right now.
Drew McIntyre, Amos, Sheamus, and who else?
Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Did you say that one? I don't know.
Oh, Sami Zayn, right? Yeah. Well, I certainly is not going to be Sami Zayn. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
It's funny because the Money in the Bank have two of the most annoying freaking wrestlers, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
They can literally start a tag team called the freaking Obnoxious Bunch.
Right.
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what Seth Rollins' new gimmick is, where he's trying to be like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah.
That movie, but it is so irritating when he opens up his mouth and that voice starts coming out.
Yeah.
I start my skin crawls.
Yeah.
And then Sami Zayn is just a professional, just yap. But he talks when he talks, he sounds like he's whining all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Chihuahua, right?
Yeah.
So it's I live with Chihuahuas. They're annoying as all hell. So it's if I listen to Sami Zayn, I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Is he a fantastic wrestler? Yeah, they both are. But they're definitely on the bottom for me. I don't want them to win. Sheamus, McIntyre. I was very high on McIntyre, still kind of am, but man, did they ruin him. I think they ruined his aura, his like. I mean, from when he eliminated Brock Lesnar in that Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I think COVID did too. I think COVID.
I was about to say, I think that the whole COVID thing, he was on such a high streak.
Oh man,
that was it.
He didn't get the chance to win the championship in front of fans when he was hot.
Yeah.
When it was hot, right? So, right, that Royal Rumble, 3 months later, COVID.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't get that chance. So yeah, I mean, I think that the main plan from Money in the Bank from the beginning was for Cody to win it. Because Cody tore his pectoral, and I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure you did. That injury looked. Whew.
That was rough, yeah. And Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I see bigger and better things for Cody. Like I said, I'm a fan of let the story slow. Don't gotta make him champion now, tomorrow. Take a year, build it up to the next, whoever you want to build it up to.
I was a fan of Cody, but I think Cody was, and I think he realized this in AEW, that he was sticking around too long to be the villain.
Yeah.
And I think he knew that, not only with the fans but also backstage.
Yeah.
Because he had that executive position, and maybe his mindset wasn't, maybe he. What was I trying to say? I just think he did the right move by going to WWE, because I think in his interviews, if you watch his interviews or listen to his interviews, he even said that it didn't work out being in an office position and then also being you're one of the boys, but then you also have to do the executive decisions.
Yeah.
So I think he did it very good by going to WWE. And even me, like, I started seeing like his character, like, in AEW. I'm like, it's not really doing it for me.
Yeah.
I love that he came over WWE with the same music, same persona.
Yeah.
They didn't change his name. They didn't do anything. They bought him at face value, and this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
I love that they didn't censor him with any of the promos. That they let him do whatever he wants, and it shows that Vince had trust in him.
Yeah.
So I like where it's going, and I honestly think you're right. Big things are going to happen when he comes back. When he comes back, he'll most likely be I'm almost positive that he'll be in the main event picture.
I think for next year's WrestleMania, the following year's WrestleMania. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think
when he gets back, maybe if he gets back in time for Royal Rumble or something,
I think he will, because I don't think that injury. I think he'll be out probably 7 months, 8 months.
They were saying 9 to 10, but I feel like everyone comes back sooner than.
Sooner, yeah, that's always an estimate. You can't, Well, what's the next match on the card?
That's it. Those are all the matches.
That's it.
That's it.
Is it a short pay-per-view, or they're just giving a lot of time to those Money in the Bank matches?
Cousin Joey says, "I'm here. I'm just on mute." All right.
Well, we knew that because your mic has a red line across it. That usually means that it's mute.
Oh man, this was brilliant.
Yeah. So,
if you're still listening, this is a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, if you're still listening, again, this is our first episode, so we're getting the kinks out. I hope you guys understand that. But Cousin Joey, he's doing this on his phone apparently, and we gotta get it. Maybe we can do a GoFundMe for a computer for this guy.
All right, we're gonna raise $10,000 in about in a day for him.
Yeah, I'll pocket the
I'm in.
this guy.
Oh, there he is. Guest
There it is.
user.
There it is. But yeah, so we were going to do another topic, but I think time is dwindling down. But we
Well,
covered
an hour and a half.
cover, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with the recording, it's an hour and 16 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think that'll sum up this episode. We have a lot more to talk about next week, especially after Money in the Bank. We'll have that to discuss the results. We're going to find out exactly who was the to be determines on both the women's and the men's matches, and we'll talk about more topics, and hopefully cousin Joey doesn't have technical anymore.
Is cousin Joey really a dresser? That will all be announced Sunday.
So, Joe, if you want to get on this, we're going to sum it up here. We're closing it up. No.
All right.
We're closing up.
Yeah. We're gonna sum it up. We're summing it up right now.
I personally think that this is a way dysfunctional podcast, but I think it's pretty good. I think, oh my God, we're an hour and a half. I think we should keep it to like 45.
My lunch is cold.
Well, that's nearly impossible with the technical issues and everything.
Yeah, and I just had what's again? By the way, I just had lunch.
You're
and I
good.
think we should definitely keep an eye on, like you had said, the Bret Hart situation, and also the up and coming match.
Yeah, you're getting
Pretty
ahead of
definite.
yourself, man. We'll do it now. We're like what we always do. I'm gonna make an outline. I'll send it to you guys. Go over what we're talking about, but that'll be for other shows. We're gonna sum it up here. All right. Do you want to put your pretty face on the camera?
Maybe not.
Joey.
I for one appreciate both of you.
What's up?
I said I for one appreciate both of you. I think it's only going to go up from here.
Yeah. I think.
We're going to work out the kinks, and like I said, it's we never said we're going to be a professional podcasters. If you like just the bullshit with us, this is going to be the podcast for you.
All right. So with that being said, thank you all for joining us on our podcast. We got some emojis going up here, smiley faces clapping and whatnot. Again, thanks for tuning in. We will be doing this every week, hopefully putting an episode every Tuesday. We'll be back, me, cousin Joey, and Jay. Take care, guys.
Maybe I'll be on.